So Mario Kart World's main selling point is obviously the open world. It's in the title. If you tell me anything different, I'm actually going to kill you. There is no way. It is the open world. That is what makes this game special. That's what makes this game so different from every other game known to man in the Mario Kart series. That is what makes this game what it is. And I personally think there are a lot of ways the open world impacts the way that you experience this game in a positive way. So I want to go over those first before I start talking my shit. Okay, because I know people are going to get upset if I just frame one hop into the bad, so let's buttress it a little bit, all right? The Grand Prix that you do are very heavily impacted by the fact that this is an open world game. The intermission sections, they are a big deal, right? Like, a lot of the content that you experience, I think, is greatly benefited by the fact that this is one giant interconnected world. I think the linear content of this game, Knockout Tour, that type of oh my god, perfect. Feels great having it in this kind of open world setting. I think one minor complaint is that I would actually like to have the ability to go and play some of these stages with just 3 laps. I wish that was an option. I think one of the biggest problems with this game is the fact that it lacks a severe amount of options for a game that's worth $80, but whatever. Okay, I'll talk about that maybe more another time. It's fine. But, like, that's nice, right? The linear content in this game is super cool, and I think the fact that this is an open world game heavily impacts that content in a good way. However, when it comes to the actual free roam, which is one of the biggest things that Nintendo showcased for this game, one of the huge things that makes Mario Kart World, this shit is kind of boring after a little while. I'm sorry. I just genuinely feel that way. I'm not even saying that the open world is bad. I think there's interesting stuff to do, and there's these small challenges, and, you know, that's nice, and that's great, and it gives you an excuse and a way to go about unlocking a lot of the character costumes, which is a problem in its own right, because that is the most boring experience I've ever fucking had playing this game so far. Just running around trying to unlock all these goddamn costumes. Like, oh my god. Stop. No. That was... No. it was really not what felt like a natural progression for unlocking some of this stuff. But, like, it gives you opportunities to experiment with stuff, to have fun and run around and try skips and stuff. But I just don't think it does much other than that, you know? It provides very little interesting content that I think makes this worth $80, you know? The small challenges are nice, they're fun in their own right, but they are not insane content. It's usually like fucking 8 seconds worth of content, 4 to 8 seconds, and then you're kind of done, you're out of there. And beyond that, there's just not a lot to do in some of these more open sections, so you just kind of end up running around a little bit and trying to find these P-switches, and they don't list them on the map anywhere, so there's no real good way to go from point A to point B and make your process a little less arduous. It is really just you kind of wander around and you find shit until you're done. So it's like... it's just not that fun to me. It's like running around and doing some menial tasks in this open world, and it's just not that interesting. I think the greatest benefit that we get from the open world is what it does for the linear content. And outside of that, free roam is just not, like, it's fun to chillax and relax to, but I think when it comes to future months for this game, everyone's talking about free roam right now. They're doing stuff in free roam. They're doing a lot of these little tricks, and that's cute, that's awesome, that's great. But I do realistically think this will not be a selling point for the game going forward. Early, right now, sure, people are having a great time. They're saying good things about the free roam, the open air stuff, whatever. I don't know what Nintendo calls it anymore. They keep changing it for every single game to make it sound special when it's really not. But point is, all right, I think that people are not going to be particularly interested in this long term. It feels like one of those things you play it, you have fun in the moment, you get through it, and then you're kind of done. You're kind of done with it. It's not easy to revisit. Doesn't feel great to revisit. It's not like something that people are going to be itching to revisit. It is just content for the sake of content. And yeah, it's fun to run around and do the first time, and it can be fun for a few hours to just dick around and see what the game has to offer, and then you're done with it. And then you are actively done with it. So I don't just want to sit here and talk about what I don't like about free roam, because we're going to be here for ages and just running around and kind of going in circles about the same things over and over again. So I want to show off another mode that I kind of don't really care for, and that's battle. I really just don't, it's not my thing. I'm not like talking shit about it or whatever. I've just never liked it in any Mario Kart game ever. Let's do Goomba, bro. I haven't done Goomba. Sure, he can have his time in the sunlight, but I've just never really liked it. I haven't liked Balloon Battle, Coin Run, nothing. I haven't really found a single battle mode that sparks immense joy in me. I just prefer doing the races. I think that is more fun content and way better content. However, I have heard from people that do enjoy battle mode more than I, that even this is not particularly fun for people that like battle mode, because as you can tell, the way that they have kind of gone about retrofitting a lot of these courses for battle mode isn't necessarily the best. It just kind of feels like you're running around on tracks that weren't made for it. The most fun that you can have in battle mode is when there are, you know, stages that are specifically designed for battle mode, and this is just not that. These stages are not designed for this. They're designed for open world exploration and for, you know, kart racing in a more traditional sense, and battle mode is just like a second thought. And I think that realistically, battle mode's not very fun in this so far. Again, I'm not the best person to gauge how fun battle mode is, because I don't like battle mode even when it is fun. So, like, I don't know. It's not my thing. It's really not my thing. But I've heard from people that do like battle mode that this is also not their thing, because it just kind of fucking sucks. And they didn't do a good job translating what makes battle mode fun into these, like, revamped courses. Look, man, if you disagree, that's fine. I'm just recounting what I've heard and what I can already kind of see from what I've played of battle mode. But I'm not going to be spending a lot of time doing this, and I'm going to show off coin runners and call it a day, pretty much. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. You can probably tell throughout this entire Mario Kart series thus far, I have been very excited about Mario Kart World and very happy about pretty much everything that it's done. And it's unfortunate that there are things that I dislike about it. It's unfortunate that I don't think it's really worth the $80 asking price, because a lot of these issues are prevalent. And also, by the way, while we're here kind of just bitching about things, I might as well say this. I also really hate the fact that this game feels more like a side grade rather than an upgrade from Mario Kart 8, where there's not really enough content to warrant the fact that it's $80 and more expensive than a Mario Kart that you can also buy on this exact same system. Not only that, I don't necessarily think the new content it does have is all winners. Again, I think the open world stuff is not ideal. And also, you had easy wins. You had such easy wins when it came to just providing features that Mario Kart 8 had. You didn't even have to match the level of content it had post DLC, because, like, you know, that's a lot of content. And realistically, you know, the DLC was only $20 and Mario Kart Deluxe was $60, so this game is as much as Mario Kart with all its DLC, so maybe you did have to match that level of content, but whatever. Point is, right, there is potential here for you to just make this game interesting and, you know, not match that content and still be a win for Mario Kart gamers. However, they didn't really do that, because there are options in, like, versus mode that are missing. You can't really change stuff to be like, oh yeah, I just want to play shells only. No, you can't do that. No fun allowed, bro. No fun allowed. Can't do that at all. It's only frantic or non-frantic items, and it's weird. It's very, very weird, and I think the fact that we're in this state for this game where I don't think anyone really thinks it's worth $80. Like, I've seen a lot of the biggest Nintendo meat writers I've known say it's worth $80, and then they wipe the jizz off their chin, and then they go back to normal and say it's not. But, like, no one is saying it. No one is saying that this game is worth $80. And, you know, plus the price of buying a Nintendo Switch 2, since it is one of the few, if, you know, only real games that you can get on the system right now. So, I don't know. I think that it's a massive loss. I think that we're in this weird state where until the game gets updates, hopefully free updates or free DLC, it's really not going to be worth the asking price. And it's just hard to say that without people getting very upset at you, because this game did just come out 5.5 milliseconds ago, and, you know, this means shit to people. This Nintendo shit gets serious, bro. It gets very serious. I've had my fun with coin runners, though. I'm getting out of here. This one's not too bad. I don't mind this stage. It's interesting. It's cute. It feels like it was made a little bit more with battle mode in mind. But, yeah, it's alright. Not a battle mode kid, though, so, let's get the fuck out of here. So to kind of wrap it up, you know, is this game worth $80? That's a question I get all the time, and the answer is fuck no. Not even remotely close. It's worth a solid 60, 70 is even pushing it, I feel. It is AAA quality, but it is worse than the previous game in some aspects. You know, it does a lot of really cool things that are new and different from Mario Kart 8, and it does a lot of things that are really good and really right, but it gets a lot of really weird things wrong. And again, it feels like a side grade, not a direct upgrade from Mario Kart 8. So I would say, high key, get Mario Kart 8 or stick with your Switch 1 and just keep playing Mario Kart 8 until this game gets enough content to make it worthwhile, right? That's kind of where I'm at with it. Beyond that, the open world, I think, just needed to be more. This is not a particularly neat feature. Like, you can find some cute stuff here and there, and there was obviously a decent amount of love put into the open world and making things happen in the open world to try to make it interesting, but I just don't think the amount of P-Switch content here, or really any of the P-Switch content, warrants me kind of going out of my way to play this for hours on end, unless I just want to relax and listen to music. That's kind of the biggest thing that this mode is good for, listening to music. That is what it's good for. And other than that, you know, you're just kind of doing menial tasks, and that's really about it. You know, the P-Switches are here. They definitely give you content to do, but I don't think that at the end of the day, this game and this mode, especially, this mode, are going to be necessarily mainstays. I don't think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is dead. And I don't want to say that this game is not going to be a mainstay. I think this game is going to have an absolutely insane longevity and runtime. I think this game is going to continue to get people playing it for years and years and years and years and years. So I do want to make that very clear, but I don't think the open world is going to be a part of that experience moving forward. I don't think people are going to be playing the open world for years and years and years and years. I think people are just going to get bored of it and play online content like Knockout Tour and Versus Races, and that's pretty much it. And maybe Battle Mode, I don't know. Maybe people will change up on that, but from what I've seen thus far, people don't seem that into it. It's mainly Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is the big one that everybody is on. So yeah, that's pretty much my entire take on Mario Kart World's biggest selling point. It's kind of dookie dog water in a lot of ways. I don't think it's going to have a long stay time. I think it's going to be fun for a while, fun for the sake of having content to play for a little bit, and then people are not going to go back to this mode particularly often unless they want to go into like photo mode or something. So, you know, it is what it is. But I'm not done with this game, all right? Just because I'm talking shit doesn't mean I'm over it, all right? I am going to keep playing it. I want to get at least one win in a Knockout Tour versus race. I need to keep playing online so I can flex what I'm capable of. Okay, because I know I can win. I know I can win, so just let Daddy have a win. I'm gonna fucking do it. Even if I don't play battle mode, even if I don't do any of the free roam, I don't care, bro. I can win. I can win.